Perhaps now I'll turn to Eileen, who started us off, and we get a big sense of your thoughts as well. But maybe to the second part of the question, is there any way that we can keep energy economics subservient to the concerns over environmental sustainability instead?
I mean, if you want to make major change, and I just think you can't do it fast enough to get to 2 degrees, but if you want to make a major change, you've got to have a partnership, as was said, between governments, business, and Jose Maria, you said money, but I think it's people, individuals. You need all three. My own sense is that we are at a period in time where governments are divided, dysfunctional, maybe okay on the rhetoric, but actually not that good on getting things done. And poor economic conditions and a lot of other things play into that. But you don't see a lot of leadership coming from governments. You do actually see leadership coming from companies who I think see opportunities, are looking beyond the next quarter's earnings, who are trying to go to the future, and I think that is the most positive thing that we're seeing. Individuals, I think it varies a little bit by country. There's a lot of work to do to get individuals into this, and maybe if you can get companies and individuals, you actually can start to move governments in a positive direction. So I'm just trying to be a little more positive here.
No peer pressure on that. Mr. Figueres, perhaps your thoughts on the question, maybe to build on some of the ideas that you mentioned in your speech?
Yes, I take the position that Eileen took originally, that it's very challenging to keep under the 2 degrees centigrade because, as we say in Spanish, las matemáticas no mienten. Math does not lie. So if you do the math on where we are today in terms of carbon emissions in the atmosphere and what we are accumulating, you take into consideration that after 2009, which was the worst economic slump in this crisis, we came out into 2010 with the largest carbon emissions we had ever had in the history of the world. You come very rapidly to the conclusion that we're not moving in the right direction. Can we change that direction? Yes. Do we have some examples of where we have been able to do it? Yes. Look at the problem of CFCs and the ozone hole. That was a big environmental challenge of the 80s. 1985, industry came together and decided to go off CFCs. Then governments came in and put together the Montreal Protocol. And in only 10 years, we did away with the problem of ozone depletion. Can we do that again here? Yes, we can. But for example, the conversation this morning with respect to shale gas, it's a very important conversation. Shale gas is a great transition, but not a destination. It's a great transition into the future because it cuts carbon emissions by 50% with respect to other fossil fuels. But it's not a destination if we want to reach 2 degrees centigrade, where we have to cut carbon emissions even further.